Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Phone Podcast, where we talk about all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to be talking about Robinhood onboarding retail to crypto through a little bit of Bitcoin and Doge. We're going to talk about the pudgy ecosystem heating up, and we're going to talk about the continued red hot run from the AI sector. Absolute cooks happening over there over the weekend. Total market cap absolutely crushing it, up over 17 billion. Kicks, you got to be feeling good about AI right now. You've been diving deep. How you feeling today?
Good, man. Feeling phenomenal. Trying to be smart here because this is the inflection point where you either sell too early and you fucking hate yourself, or you get greedy and it dips by 50%. And then there's like a 5% chance you just fucking top wicket like a Chad. The smart thing to do is write DCA out, right? We all talk about DCAing in, right? If you kind of just trim your bags when you're starting to feel a little silly, I think that's a good idea. But yeah, I tweeted about this yesterday, but it's getting to the point where like pretty much anybody that tells me like, hey dude, have you checked out this AI project? Like it's sub $10 million market cap. This is why I really like it, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, cool. Let me copy paste that ticker and throw an ETH in. And then I wake up the next day and I'm up 50 to 100%. That's where we're at right now. Now that doesn't mean that the top is in, right? And everyone's going to be so fucking sick and tired of me comparing stuff to NFTs cycles, but that's the only other comparison I have. So you're just going to have to deal with it. But like, I remember this point in time on Nifty Gateway when everybody came in and everything I bought, even the stupidest shit ever. In fact, the stupidest shit, since it was so cheap, pumped harder, right? And I was sitting on a bunch of stuff that was up 4 to 6x in a week. And the silliness went on for another month after that. So who knows where we are? We're also in Q1 of January, which I think that timing always generally works out well. Signals talked about it. Like the bids come in January. People start off the year, they want to make money. So I think it can keep running, but I'm trying to spend my time in the AI space on not just buying, but also trying to zoom out a little bit and see where the puck is going, so I can make sure that my bags are aligned and my thesis is aligned with where I think the puck's going to go.
Yeah, I agree with what you were saying at first. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. We were having some technical issues with the space. I think we fixed it now. If you're in the Twitter space, shoot out like a heart emoji if you can currently hear. I just want to make sure that everything's working all right. I think Easy's on stage and I can't hear him. So I don't know what's going on over there. So Easy, I can't hear you right now, but if you can hear the main Twitter space, let me know. Yeah, so I think I'm agreeing with you in terms of like DCAing out is very important when things feel silly. I think like things right now in terms of where we are, like looking at the last 6 months, 1 year, when you like have that bear market mindset, seeing how much of this stuff has ran so quickly over the last couple weeks, really, when these like things have really went parabolic, maybe even the last like 7 days, you're like, okay, well, this starts to feel silly now, but I'm just not getting that feeling right now. Like if AI is going to be the market narrative, you're going to have runners of the leaders like hitting 20 billion, $30 billion market cap of like the top coins. And if that happens, if you're in the good AI agents, the good AI infrastructure plays, you're going to be absolutely cooking. And like, this is going to be a blip on the overall chart. So I'm overall bullish, and my strategy has been basically just like full range LP anything. So I'm slowly DCAing out, but then if we get a pullback, I'm going to be loading back up on these tokens.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to collect fees. I'm definitely capping my upside, but then also if there is a pullback, I'm DCAing back into it. So that's my my strategy right now in terms of like AI, at least on the side.
I think both of you just pretty much hit the nail on the head. This is kind of how I'm thinking as well. Like January, just like turn your brain off and just run with the momentum. Because even like, well, first of all, Happy New Year. And then if you look at the markets, like the way it just switched, it like literally went like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, market just like full send. Everything went was as if like back to usual. So it just feels like January is going to be this period where it's going to be risk on. But I think as we go into the rest of the year, these first 100 days of the Trump administration, there's been some talk from like respected thinkers within the space that they're basically saying like Trump might not be able to actually execute the expectations of what the market thinks he can execute. Hence why we had that really strong rally, which was the speculation. But as we go into the actual next 6 months, he might not actually be able to meet those expectations. And if that does not happen, then we could see quite a pullback across the market, being TradFi and obviously then affecting crypto. I'm not really thinking that far ahead. Right now, I'm thinking about January, but for me, it feels like January is very much going to be risk on. As we're saying, Kicks are saying the AI stuff. And I just think it's like take advantage of this environment because every single year it tends to fade away within the next like sort of 6 to 8 weeks, especially towards the end of February. So I'm really liking this Jan environment.
Yep, and we're just talking about AI like it's the hottest story right now, and we saw like crypto absolutely pump over the last 24 hours. I showed you the level of excitement here. We have a ton to talk about. I already see questions I want to answer in the chat. Let's start off with this weather report signal and then kick it off from there and then jump into the meat and potatoes of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. For Thursday, 2nd of Jan, Happy New Year. Looking over that crypto roundup, the majors, they rallied as the total crypto market gained 6% on the day. Bitcoin back over 96,000. Ethereum just shy of 3,500. And Solana outperformed, is back up, thank God, to $208. The leading top 100 coin is Bartcoin. That is up over 45% on the day to a 1.4 billion market cap. That was around 850 million just on New Year's Eve. Over the past 24 hours, top 3 stories. It's been a good day, firstly, for Robinhood customers. They have done their part to onboard the masses to crypto as it gave away $5 million worth of Bitcoin and Doge to users who watched a countdown on that app on New Year's. Over 400,000 users claimed the Doge allocation. Secondly, next up, Twitter CEO Linda Yaccarino announced the launch of X Money payment system coming up this year. Not many details on what the platform has released, and the Doge meme coin has been up 7% on the day to a 50 billion market cap. Speculation that it could be involved. And then finally, over in Pudgy land, it's been good. Masari Crypto released 6 hot takes for 2025. That included Pudgy Penguins flipping CryptoPunks. Are they out to lunch? Luca Netz says that he will release the #1 mobile game and it will shatter every crypto gaming record that ever was. Pengu's up 10% on the day to a 3.3 billion FDB. That is all for the weather report. It is back to you folks in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Signal. It is incredible how much bullish news is coming out of the crypto markets over the last few days. Even I feel like every day now there's just many top stories that we cover here, and we don't even dive deep into many of them. Like Robinhood giving away $5 million to Normies, over 400,000 people claiming it is crazy. We saw Pengu running over the weekend, getting close to all-time highs. I want to stick back on the AI, like while we were talking about it though. Greeny was in the making some comments. If you haven't watched Greeny's video from this morning with Zeneca, I really suggest you do. Him and Zeneca did about a 45-minute stream this morning where they really dive deep into AI. If you're someone who just is getting started in this, it's a very good primer on like where to jump in and like how to get into these tokens. And he kind of shares all of his plays. But Greeny in the chat says 50 billion, right? Doge went to 74 billion and it's nothing. Yes, DCAing into what specifically? I'm going to be releasing a thread with just everything I'm in and why I'm in it. I've been kind of sharing my plays in the Bodoggos Discord, but like a quick rundown right now. I'm in Bob, Trust, Cookie, AIXBT, Vader, F-Dream on the base side, and on the Sol side, I'm in X. I'm in the Nothing token. I'm in Zerebro. I'm in ARK. I'm in Nor, and also in Moss. So like that's my entire AI crypto bag right now. So you can take anything I say about any of those with a grain of salt, as I probably have some bag bias, but I'm also buying them because I have a thesis behind it. So that's the full list there, Greeny. I want to talk about a number of these different tokens with Kicks, though. Starting off with the one that Kicks kind of like got my wheels turning on with Cookie. Cookie, why don't you tell people what Cookie is, Kix, and like how the whole ecosystem like works?
Yeah. Sadly enough, I probably don't know it as much as I should. But just very simply to like break it down, cookie.fun is like an AI agent dashboard. It tracks mind share, it tracks market cap, it tracks all of these trends. You can also spend own Cookie. You don't even have to spend it. If you own a certain amount of Cookie, you can unlock like token gated features that let you see like trends over 24 hours and 6 hours and do filters and all sorts of things like this. I hit up Ray a couple of days ago because what I spent some time on over the holiday was trying to break down the AI sector into different categories. And Cookie Fund felt like it was in its own space where it's trying to be kind of like the information data dashboard. And I think as the AI market continues to get more wide, stuff like this becomes more useful. So I shilled this to Ray. It's been like a nice 3x or maybe more from there. The only thing I didn't like about it was just like the FTV overhang, but I think that's maybe more so due to like its structure as a DAO. It started out like as a DAO and now they've launched this. So yeah, it's been a good trade. And like, I like to use this just to understand. It's just way simpler. Like CoinGecko has some AI categories, but they don't include all of the coins, right? So like you have these AI categories that like doesn't have Cerebro in it, and then Cerebro's in another one, but AI XBT is not in that one. So this is just a great way to be able to just see like the movement in the AI space in general. So I really like Cookie.
Yeah. So this website has went like leaps and bounds because I looked at this website when they first launched and I was like impressed by it, but it did seem like it had some work to do. They have absolutely crushed the development of this. It has like evolved a ton and has added a ton of different features. I hold enough Cookie to unlock it, but I don't want to lock it up for 30 days. So essentially you're locking up Cookie for 30 days to access the features. It's a 30-day withdrawal period. So like whenever you don't want the features anymore, it'll be 30 days. It's probably something that's that's probably worthwhile right now with the boom of crypto and AI, these tokens, unlocking like the 6 hour, the 24-hour chart, and then also some of the additional columns you can get from like additional data points. I know people who do, and they say it's worth it. But what really is interesting to me now, and I think what pushed it to another level is their Swarm API. Which are launching. So essentially the data behind all this is super valuable. It's not easy or cheap to scrape enough Twitter data to run a platform like this.
Yeah.
What they're going to be doing is offering that data up to agents as like a mindshare like tool to help train agents. So like you could potentially like pool all of the Cookie data and like build your own AI XBT on top of it. And I imagine there's going to be some sort of like Cookie requirement for this as well. So like this is just like just a pure infrastructure play for me. If it was just a dashboard, I don't know if I would be as bullish. But the fact that they're going to be basically monetizing on the data is very very interesting to me. And Greedy said thoughts on Kaito. Kaito is another AI mindshare program. They look at mindshare across crypto Twitter, not just focused on AI, but they leverage AI to sort of filter noise and then like rank people by their contribution. Kaito is very interesting to me as well. So something to take a look at. They haven't done their TGE yet, but it's a platform you can sign up for now and start like exploring something that's interesting for sure. So we talked about Cookie. Are there any other AI plays right now, Kix, that you're like super interested in that like you might have bought, you might be thinking about buying? Like what's on your mind in terms of like your strategy with AI right now?
Yeah, I've just once again I've kind of just been longing interesting narratives that people are like sending my way versus me trying to sift these out. And instead I'm spending my time more just trying to figure out how I see the space evolving over the next 6 months to a year. Yeah, I got into Bob within the last 48 hours. I got into like, I think it's like Elysia or Alicia or something like that over the last 48 hours. And for everything else, I'm really just holding the bags that I accumulated over the past month and just trying to ride that wave and sit in my hands and not click the sell button. But yeah, at a bigger picture, I'm really trying to see where the space is going, because there's so many new things coming out. The existing things are innovating or improving at such a fast clip, right? That I think it's so much better to like kind of have like a more of like a top level theses and then drill down into them. So like a big thing that I saw like 7 days ago is I was like, Virtuals is running super hard, right? AI16Z is running super hard. I'm like, it makes sense that the second tier AI deployment platforms are going to re-rate just simply due to the other ones going, right? And we saw that with, for example, Top Hat. I bought Top Hat at 25 million. When I checked yesterday, it was at 100 million. Like nice, clean 4x, right?
I bought that one 2 million.
Beautiful.
With size.
Beautiful. That's a big fucking win. But yeah, that was a clean breakup. Stuff like Griffane is another one, right? Clanker went on a big run as well. Veifu did a pretty good. You can see they all just basically made big moves from that exact same period of time.
What'd you Griffane at?
I didn't get in Griffane. I longed Top Hat. Once again, it's just like you could long all four of them, but you're going to get relatively the same rewards or returns. And actually, Top Hat ended up being the biggest return. It was a clean 4x, which was really nice. But yeah, so I think like that's how I'm trying to operate, is like looking more at like the top level and then drilling down. Cause I think if you just sit down at the micro level, there's so much fucking noise that it's almost impossible for you to sift these things out, other than what I'm doing, which is like, okay, if someone else has developed a conviction thesis, like someone shilled me Bob multiple times and I'm like, cool, I'll throw an ETH in at that. Right. And ride those, and then maybe develop conviction on them over time, or just sell them when I feel like it's time to get out of these plays.
I have a question. I obviously didn't get to do a 50x on whatever that coin was. I just think it's funny, especially when Easy's on, to say that I got in lower than he did.
You got in at -1 million. You actually got paid to get in.
There you go. So real quick, look, everybody seems to be convinced that the AI coin space is the new, DeFi summer, the new NFTs. It's a major narrative, I guess you would call it, for this cycle that is not going to be a flash in the pan and is going to continue and potentially could really explode. If that is the case, which I'm not saying I think definitively is the case, but let's say that is the case and this is a big thing, and all of a sudden my in real life friends start asking me about AI coins and stuff in a month or two. Do you think that has a major impact on Solana or whatever the underlying chain is that these coins are on? I'm assuming it's Solana. Most of these things you're talking about are on Solana. I know there's the occasional ETH coin, but aren't they almost all on Solana?
Most of the actions
like more are popping up probably on Base right now.
Wow.
Or 50-50. I'd say 50-50 would be fair. But I think like a lot of like the big runners of the last 45 days have been on Base. A lot of maybe the more like established runners have done well on Solana. So like AIXBT pretty much went in 60 days from like 0 to $500 million. That's on Base, right?
What are the
Vader went from like 1 or 2 million to 120 million. That's on Base. Cookies on Base. Trust has been a crazy play. It went from 1.5 to 25 million in about 10 days. That's on Base. So it's about 50-50 right now.
What do the fees look like on Base?
They're cheap, dude.
Solana,
yeah, they're like the same as Solana. They're very comparable.
How crazy is Coinbase's Q4 earnings going to be?
Crazy. I think I'm gonna be crazy good.
Yeah. Q1 probably even better if the Base trading like really continues to accelerate because of like the virtual stuff. But I'd say like Base and Solana are very comparable right now. I'd say that the newer shit can potentially be a little bit of like a safer play on base. I think like Solana just has so much going on and so much noise that there's lots of rotations. Also, some developers just prefer the EVM stack compared to Rust. But I think they're both going to be like, you have to be on both. I think if you can pick one or the other if you want, you're just going to miss things. So I have stacks on both. I have positions on both of them. I think if you're like the underlying tokens, the value accrual to Solana is cleaner than the value accrual to ETH via base.
But is there still some value accrual to ETH via base, or we still don't know if layer 2s accrue value to layer 1s?
They really don't, like in terms of like fee burning or anything like that. But like from a narrative standpoint, I do think it's something that can unlock a strong narrative on ETH, right? Is that like now there's finally like something really, really popping off on the ETH side. So I mean, yeah, I think it could impact those. I'd say it's easier for it to maybe like impact Solana than ETH, but obviously I'm really long ETH, so I would love it for it to take off like that. But Alfalfa, yeah, you can use like BullX for limit. Pretty much any buy bot will let you do that.
Yeah, so you can use BullX on base. You have to use BullX, not Neo. So bullx.io, use their bot. They support base. Also, you can do limit orders directly on Uniswap as well.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they
nice
do have. I haven't experimented with it. I just know they offer it. So you can do limit orders on Uniswap as well. I pulled up the virtuals token. This thing touched 5 bill this morning and is now the number 32 crypto coin overall by market cap.
Good God.
Massive.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so this thing has been on an absolute heater. Number 32 overall. I mean, that's like passing blockchains like Polygon at this point.
Who made
virtuals? Yeah, so virtuals is a great story, and you've seen it with multiple different teams doing the same thing. But virtuals actually started off as like PathDAO. Ray knows better than me, but they were essentially kind of like a metaverse gaming play, almost, right, Ray? Am I correct on that?
They were a metaverse gaming investment DAO. So
yeah,
they purchased assets in different like gaming sectors, like at Pico Bull last cycle.
And then they kind of pivoted into like doing AI experiences, like launching AI agents before the Launchpad came out. And they were doing that for a while, like this summer. And then they launched their actual AI agent Launchpad, which is what made the crazy price appreciation happen. Because even in October, this thing was down at, was it 18 million or like 35 million or something like that? So yeah, pretty much all of the gains has happened off of it or due to its AI agent Launchpad, which came out in like October going into November. So it's been an absolutely massive run. Last week we talked on the show. I said out of the majors, AI16C was probably my favorite play, just because it was lagging virtual so hard, and that went from like 800 million to now 2.2 billion. So that's crushing it as well. But yeah, like I own virtuals, and the only time I'm selling virtuals is when I'm buying stuff on their Launchpad, which I'm trying to do less and less now, because I feel like as virtuals is appreciating, it's like it's kind of like when ETH is appreciating against NFTs, right? You start becoming more cautious spending your ETH. That's the same with my virtuals bag.
Is it the same? Like, so let's say I have a coin on Solana pumping, but then Solana's pumping. I should expect the coin on Solana to pull back.
Well, what I'm saying is more so like, virtuals to buy an agent before it bonds. So similar to Pump Fund before it graduates, like you have to use virtuals to buy it. So imagine if like Pump Fund, instead of using Solana to buy stuff pre-graduating Pump Fund, you had to use the Pump coin. Exactly. And so what I'm saying is like, as the Pump coin is appreciating so much, right? You're like more hesitant to spray it into new stuff, right? Where like you could lose some of the virtuals money, and it's almost becoming more tempting just to hold the virtuals coin. Yeah, so virtuals is the pair, but that's also part of the reason why it's appreciated so much is because there's like fee accrual mechanisms in it, right? Like when you're buying in virtuals, I think there's some sort of like fee taking off, sort of like a buy sell tax sort of thing going on there. But that's part of the fee. That value proposition is part of the reason why it's appreciating so well. But one of the things that I got a little flack on the timeline over this is I said to people, and they don't like this because either they're doing this or they own the bags that I'm talking about. But once again, like I own a lot of the majors in AI, right? But one of the things that I've been saying, once again, people are going to hate me continuing to compare things to the NFT cycle. But like when you're in the current moment, it will always seem like the things that are the biggest and the best and have the most mind share are always going to be that way for the rest of the cycle because it just makes sense. They're worth the most. Everyone's talking about, everyone's using it, right? But if you got into NFTs in 2020 in October and November, guess what the play was? It was Top Shot. It was Dapper Labs. And that was the consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what everybody was doing. And if you weren't doing that, people would call you dumb. They're like, this is going to be the play. Everybody's going to trade NBA Top Shot videos for the rest of the cycle, right? And then what actually happened was when everyone was saying that, the play was to get on Nifty Gateway and buy Beeple Open editions for $1. And then those went to $500,000.
Well,
right?
The open editions were not $1. They were $1,000. The raffles were $1. So I know what you're talking about. The problem with the Top Shot stuff, just to point it out, is the debasement of the Top Shot supply. There was a debasement there. So then people went to Nifty Gateway, and then there was a debasement there where it was all open edition, so more debasement. Then people went to Bored Apes and 10,000 supply PFP collections, and at least the supply was capped at 10,000. There was ultimately a debasement because everybody and their mom started making these 10,000 supply PFP collections. So I guess it would be that people are just going to make an infinite amount of AI coins would be the argument, right?
And that's what's happening. I mean, there's new AI stuff popping up every day.
Every minute.
Yeah, every minute. But the point being is that at any of those clips in time, in February, everybody would have told you the best thing to buy is Beeple and Mad Dog Jones and all of these different things on Nifty Gateway. That was the consensus. That's what you should do. If you're over on OpenSea buying on-chain art, you're an idiot, right? And then what happened, right? We had a crash, and then the next meta emerged. So my point being is that there's a lot of people out there that just think that like the majors are going to be the majors to the rest of the AI cycle, right? All of the things that are top right now are going to be the top for the rest of the cycle. And that's it. And that could be the case. Great. Go back downstairs. Thank you for letting me know.
Dad's of explaining some really fucking involved shit.
Don't come up unless there's an emergency. Oh, okay. The door's locked. Give me a second.
All right, Kix is helping out his kids here.
I love Kix's camera setup, man. I feel like it was destiny that I was gonna plop that lens that's just a little bit too long over there. He's got beautiful over there. We got lucky that whatever settings he set up, they just work over there because you just get a full frame, like long shot, like it's a close up on the Sopranos of Kix's face. It's pretty funny while he's explaining AI shit. So
but the thing is, what Kix is saying though, and when he comes back, I'll bring it up. But he's absolutely right. And I remember, I think it was in 2021, he sent out a tweet about very similar to what he's saying now, that basically things were getting too toppy and everyone thinks that what the consensus trade is will continue to be the consensus trade. And I remember him sending that tweet like really, really early. And then we basically hit the banana zone of NFT trading and things went absolutely euphoric. And whilst I think Kix is right, I think maybe he's saying it too early. I don't think we've hit the banana zone yet of absolutely silliness and trading, or within like even with AI, which seems very hot now. I still think there's more to come. One of the mistakes is kind of going back to what Kix was saying is like, you're either going to end up selling too early now and missing the entire euphoric trade, or you're going to end up being in it for too long and you're going to end up round tripping. So even if like this whole mess of AI goes away, I think one, you will always get winners out of that. You'll always like we'll go into some kind of like quiet period, but there'll be teams continuing to develop. And out of that, even within the repricing, if you can pick the right tokens, you get something that goes absolutely parabolic later in the year. Or this meta stays and we haven't even hit the banana zone of silliness and trading, which I think is still to come, but we don't know how long that is going to be.
Yeah, it's getting hot. It's getting hot, Kicks.
Yeah, sorry about that. Nanny was locked outside. So that was an emergency. So my kid was correct. I thought she was just telling me that the nanny was here. No, in fact, the nanny's locked outside in 31-degree weather. So I'm glad that emergency was called out.
31 weather. She's not exactly going to freeze to death. I've been watching the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel. That guy Luke's sleeping in -4 degree shit in Alaska. But anyway, go ahead.
It's like some Wim Hof shit, dude. I love cold therapy. But yeah, more so my point just being, right? Like, I'm not saying like, because I'm in a lot of these things and I'm buying new things all the time. I'm not trying to call the top at all or any of those things. Here's an example in AI, right? GOAT went to $1 billion. It was the absolute consensus that GOAT was the Bitcoin of the AI meta. It was going to just capture the most value and it was going to continue to go up only, right? And what actually happened was two things. One, the tokens with utility or like actual development, aka AI16Z, Cerebro, virtuals, all went absolutely crazy. GOAT went from over $1 billion down to 400 million and got replaced by Fartcoin, which was just another kind of meme AI pure play.
It was a derivative on GOAT.
That is a derivative of GOAT that is now north of 1 billion. That sums up my exact point is what I'm trying to say. Is I'm saying the overall sector can continue to grow, right? And have and be a ton of money and opportunities at that same point in time. Look at that, right? So if you go back, when did GOAT top? Did GOAT top in November? When like, yeah, see, they have literally switched spots, right? So if you were in at that period of time, if everybody said like top blast this thing, this is going to 10 billion, you're down 50-60%. If you bought Fartcoin, you're up 3x. So that is my point, is that the entire sector can explode. But the things that you're picking, another example, I longed Waifu at the top of November, thinking, oh, Waifu's the AI, it's going to be the AI agent launchpad on Solana. I'm buying this at 150. I'm still down 30% on that, right? And if I longed virtuals at that point, I'd be up like 6x. So those are specific examples of my point. And so, like for example, today, Freysia AI just launched a new addition into their repo. And it essentially allows you to run, it's called T in AI, TEE. I think it's a trusted execution environment. So it's a way to just like basically ensure that an agent is like actually making all of these decisions autonomously. So it's like, it's trusted and verified, right? And it's also secure. AI16Z has implemented the T framework into their thing as well. But Freysia just launched this open source, in addition to their open source repo, that allows you to run T agents in AWS. It offers key management of your of the AI agent's wallet. It has transaction signing, right? So basically, Freysia has just launched like, here is this easy framework for your AI agents now to totally trade on chain autonomously. My point being of this, right, is everybody's like, and this is not fudding AI16Z. Please don't say I'm fudding AI16Z. What I'm saying is that people are saying AI16Z, ELIZA framework has all of the mind share. They're going to win. Everybody's going to develop on their repo. That's the winner. It's going to go, right? And then you have Freysia that's now launching interesting stuff into their OpenSea repo as well. And this thing has gone on an absolute piss missile. It's gone from, you could have gotten sub 40 million for a long period of time. It's now a 10x from there. So that is my point. And that's why I'm saying more so like what I'm trying to continuously do is like zoom out, right? And try to wipe away all my biases and all of my bag holdings and say, okay, what's going to happen for the next 3 months? So I'll give one example of something that I'm looking for and excited for is I think we're eventually going to, right now, what we're really seeing is we're seeing a lot of singular AI agents doing things in a vacuum, for a lack of a better word, right? What I think we're eventually going to see is AI agent communication layers, AI agent collaborations. We're already seeing the foundation of this. Swarms. We're seeing the foundation of it with swarms. But if you look at Zerebro's post, Zerebro posted, what are they going to be working on in Q1 2025? And what they've said in Q1 2025 is they literally said multi-agent communication layer, and they literally said swarm technology, right? So I think one of the next things that we're going to
real quick, would you not be a buyer of Swarm Node and Swarms? Swarms is sitting at 168 mil and Swarm Node at 104 mil.
Basically,
go ahead.
no, saying they're basically free.
Yeah, exactly. They're basically free, 100%. Yeah, and that's a great question, Easy. But it's more so trying to figure out like, okay, are these is whatever Swarm's offering going to be the one that captures that?
Yeah. The other thing you talked about here too, just to chime in, I know I'm late, was you mentioned the GOAT and Fartcoin thing.
Yeah.
I think I don't classify Fartcoin as AI anymore. Like there's no AI component to it.
Yeah, it's a meme coin, but it's like a you could almost say it's like an art play in AI. To some
extent, it was something that Truth Terminal said. Like he was like, if we make a meme coin, we'll trade fart coins with each other. And I think that like the thesis remains for fart is like still the simplest thesis. Everybody farts.
Yes.
Like that's it. It's quite literally what the entire thesis is.
Gay sex.
Not everyone's like
Goat say.
Yeah, not everyone's like sleeping with manatees like Goat wants you to be. So like there's still definitely different crowds here where like, dude, Fartcoin goes higher because it's easy to understand.
Like it's
you
stronger
can
as
have a
it goes
Normie
higher,
be
too.
like,
It's funnier.
yeah, dude, it's funnier as it goes higher. Like, oh, this person made $1 million on Fartcoin. Like, it's way funnier than hearing, oh yeah, I made $1 million on Goatsis Maximus. If I told my mother that I made $1 million on Fartcoin, she will laugh. She'll be like, that's absolutely absurd. If I told my mom I made $1 million on Goatsis Maximus, to her that's like, oh, so you have a PhD in bullshit. Like, cool. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, that's how I look at it. The other thing I want to circle back on that you guys talked about like 18 minutes ago was Pio asked, where does the value accrual if agents keep running? It's the virtuals token. It's not ETH. Plain and simple. Because of what Kick said. The pairs are all paired in the virtuals token. Even post-bonding, there's deeper liquidity in the virtuals token than on ETH. So like the Solana AI meme coins accrue in Solana. The virtuals and base plays right now accrue in the virtuals token. Like, in my opinion, 10 billion on this, easily.
And what's it at now?
Easily. 4.7.
Okay. So 2x here. I mean, dude, all the calls that you guys made on the show the other day that I bought, Lock-in, Goat, AI16Z, Zerebro, and X, I'm up on all of them. Every single one.
It's up only mode.
Right now. I think that Project X ticker goes to 25 mil today or 1 mil. There's no in between. They have a huge launch today for their first AI agent. This either skyrockets if that does well, and I'm talking like a straight 2.5x today, or it goes all the way down to the lows. Like
I'd probably bet 2.5x.
That's my bet.
Yeah, but you also have to remember that everything is going up, guys. It's not like
it's
everything.
The velocity
Pengu,
that it goes up.
Yeah, okay, but just remember, like, everything is going up right now. So it's just like, I know, Pio, you're saying it as if all those calls were like somehow magically correct. It's not. We're just in a risk-on environment. Everything is going up, and when everything pulls back, when the indicators pull back, like there's bad news, everything will pull back as well. So all I'm saying is just like be cognizant of what the macro environment is as to why we have so much velocity at the beginning of the new year.
So I wanted to check Sig's idea there that everything's going up. So I loaded up my 2 favorite animal meme coins. Yeah, everything's going up. Mooding's up 8% and Peanuts up 3%. So yeah, if those are up right now, everything's up.
Because those are
up 30%, SCF, Smoking Chicken Fish up 25%. But I think that like this is over the last day. But I think that PO, the plays that we made over the last week are up outperforming the other coins.
Yeah.
Everyone you
That's
named
the other
there
thing
is
in an up-only
outperforming,
environment. You gotta find what's going to have higher velocity up, and that's why I'm saying like something at 11 mil that I think goes to 25 in a single day is great upward momentum for an existing token. Versus like you can take swings on all kinds of new stuff. Like I got rugged yesterday for 55 Sol on a ticker called Duna. That's like a legalized framework for DAOs out of Wyoming. The one that won is now at 22 mil. So like it happens. Like that's the thing is like it's still finding the right winner is the big thing here. Is like in an up only market, what we gave to PO in like AI 16Z up 250%. Like Zero Bro absolutely sending finally, but it doesn't have the same cause and effect. Like I was bullish on Gay Coin, which is Zero Bro's version of Fart Coin, and that's down.
Nick, looking nice here.
A lot of. Thank you. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in Miami.
Oh no!
Oh my god! I accidentally extended my flight.
Nick's call on the show other day was great as well. YNE made a nice clean 2x on that.
What is that?
It's down.
Well,
today.
you haven't exited, have you?
I hit my stop loss take profits at 2x, but I still have a bag.
I would just hold on to this one. This is the one that I would be going. Well, I don't want to say it. There's.
You have a
As
feeling.
Ray says to me, Nick, how do you handle inside information on the show?
I said.
As Ray calls me out for the same statements.
I'm saying it's very hard to not to like remember what is public and what isn't public potentially. And I wonder if people who are more plugged in than I am, how they handle that.
Now, Ray's just got like people are just in Ray's ear. He's basically like the godfather of token trading. Where
He just has like 10 thoughts in his head, and he's like, "Which one's the one I wasn't supposed to tell anybody about yet?"
Ray permission before they buy coins. They're like, "Is it okay with you to buy this coin, Godfather?" And he's just like, "I'll give you a pass today." And he has to remember who he granted permission to and who he's gonna whack. So wait, so you guys are saying it's up only. Every coin I bought with you guys, throwing 2-3 Sol in each one, big size going into each of these.
I put $6,000 into this.
Okay. Is it a take profits moment? Because I know you guys, it's like you got to get in and out. You got to take profits.
I'm not doing that.
Nick's irrationally bullish.
Not to be rude, I'm actually not asking you, Nick. I'm actually not asking you, buddy boy. I'm asking the people that don't leave their computer chairs.
Are you saying a take profit
about YNE? I'm the one that delivered the alpha.
I'm YNE. I don't have it.
Here's the thing. What I would say is that Nick rarely comes along with like a suggestion.
True alpha, like true,
yeah. And when he does, it has like a 95%, 98% hit rate. So, I'd probably still buy it here if you're not in.
What about Zerebro AI 16Z Go?
No, so for those, I liked what Kix was saying earlier about Top Hat and Vifu and some of these others that were like lagging. Like I like the chart for Vifu here. Like we're about to retest all-time highs. It's nice pullback here, descending wedge, as you could say, if you want to get T8 on it. But like here at 110, I like this better for a push to 250 mil. When you look at competitors, like Top Hat is currently sitting at, what's this at? I can't even find a contract for Top Hat.
100 mil, 95 mil.
Yeah, so like I'd prefer to buy something like a Vifu here, which is like still shipping. But the bigger thing is like with AI 16Z, everyone's using that framework. But to even be more honest on stuff, I'm like way more interested in stuff on virtuals and base. It trades slower. Like I bought this stupid, dumb chicken prediction market thing and was deeply underwater on this thing for like 3 days. I woke up today and made 80th. Just purely because like I forgot I owned it for a couple days. Because I don't have like the bullet.
And that's the nice thing, Easy. The dashboard is so bad on virtuals. You can buy a virtuals coin and forget that you own it.
Yeah, I literally forgot I owned it, aside from ICO Beast dunking on me for being down on the only virtuals play that was down. And this morning I tagged him and said, "What's up?" And he's like, "I actually woke up today and thought of you because you were up 5x." And like, it's purely just like, yeah, in this market, it's with base, it moves slower. To the point where I literally posted yesterday, I was like, dude, base just moves so slow that even Jesse Pollock, the guy from base, liked the tweet. I was like, I can get up, go play 18 holes, cook a 5-course meal, take a nap, come back after a vacation, and my bags aren't zeroed out. On Sol,
Yeah.
if I get up to go take a piss, there's a
Yeah.
50-50 chance the coin went 400x and then rugged.
Yeah, 100%. I noticed the same thing. Like the base plays, you feel like you can sleep a little easier at night for sure. Exception being if a Solana coin has been out multiple days and has held a decent price and you have a good narrative, then it's safer. What's up?
I just want to address something that I said the other day. I suggested that Bitcoin was going to 76K. And yet again, am I spot on? Yes, I am. Just absolutely nailed that. You're welcome.
No one gives a shit about the
Alfred-
majors, Nick. We're trading triple derivatives on virtuals as the underlying currency.
Mike
No one
we're
gives a
trading, we're
shit.
trading DAO funds that trade at 3000x NAV.
With a bubble map that looks like it was a fucking clusterfuck. Like, dude, we don't give a shit about the Bitcoin.
Mike Alfred literally tweeted out, kid analysts that have 6 months investment experience told you that Bitcoin was going to 76K and you believe them. He's talking to you, Nick. You're a kid.
Greeny says the 200 moving day average is at 76K, so it is in the cards as a possibility.
Greeny's been
And also, to be fair to Nick, like, well, I did say you were wrong in this particular scenario, Nick, but I do see a world in which the expectation, like, basically once Trump comes in, I do see a world in which we can potentially have a sell-off, but I don't think we go down to 70. Like, I thought your number was way too low. I still think we could probably test 89, 90 around there.
I think his number's spot on.
No. Like, I
Feel a little
mean,
MACD curl.
between now and basically inauguration, I just don't see that happening, but I do see that happening. But Nick's forecast is normally for shorter term, and that's why I think he's wrong. I don't think his number's wrong. I think his time is completely wrong here. But going into it as well, guys, like, I know we've been talking about AI for like pretty much the whole show right now, but I do agree, and Greeny's been saying it in the comments as well. I think like we're completely overlooking the NFT market. I think this is completely going to go silly as well in January. And we're going to see what's happening, especially with Abstract and the OpenSea airdrop. Easy, I saw, is it the CFO, CEO, can't remember, of OpenSea, like correcting your tweet?
Yeah, we're not
The CEO
friends.
correcting your tweet.
I'm
Yeah, I can see
definitely
you're not friends.
blacklisted for a while.
Wait.
there's-
Yeah,
What
yeah,
was
change wallets, man. Change
I
wallets.
spread a bunch of misinformation about
What
the
do you-
OpenSea airdrop.
Hold on. It was in the group. It was in the group chat, dude. That's why I made the video where I told Easy to apologize because
I
this has
spread
got
a ton
out of
of
line.
misinformation.
I
Like
didn't
a
know.
ton of misinformation.
Wait, why were you doing misinformation?
I think he's trolling. I think what he's saying is everything he said is 100% accurate, because when I read what Easy said, I'm like, that's exactly how OpenSea would structure this airdrop. Like, people literally think that OpenSea is just going to airdrop everybody from 21 and 2022, which includes
So this is
me.
where the insider information comes into play. The only thing that was completely made up was the 2023 and 2024 volume focused.
I think
Everything
that's true,
else
though.
may or may not have actually been shared with me.
I think you can replace 2023, 2024 volume focus with recent volume focus, which is what anybody doing an airdrop would do. Why would you airdrop basically a bunch of former customers as opposed to your current customers? It just makes sense. Everything that this said right here made complete sense to it.
The reason would be because those
And
former
also as well, I have to
customers
say-
generated 90% of your fees.
Mm-hmm.
Could see that signal.
Yeah, true. But I have to say, Nick, remember when you said the artifact thing, and then the founder came into the comments and was like, "This is total rubbish. This is not happening." When they defend themselves so strongly, you're normally right. And I feel like this has happened a little bit with what Easy's done. He's put out a tweet with a little bit of truth, a little bit of misinformation, but then he comes back so like, "You're hurting Web3." Easy could be right. I'm just saying.
Or like the
There's a
Clone
trend.
X, or like the Cool Cats. Basically, every time you say something that's true but isn't public information, and they come and they say that you're lying, or they don't specifically say you're lying, they just like say things like, "Oh, that's not that part, like that's not true," meaning maybe one small part of the 95% correct thing isn't true, but it's turned out true every single time.
Well, the Clone X one was egregious because the guy obviously, like,
He said that's news to me, and then sure enough, 2 weeks ago,
dude, sorry, man. They're not letting the marketing manager know that they're about to fucking fire you.
That wasn't the marketing manager. That was the founder for CloneX. Literally,
Oh,
the
well,
guy came out and
that
said,
sucks.
"Yeah,
Maybe next time don't sell a huge stake of your company and then give board control over to a shark. Good learning lesson. Good learning moment. That's the oldest trick in the fucking book. Someone gives you money and then controls the board. It's basically, oldest trick in the book. Sorry, bud.
Pick the corporate shark, Nick.
I was gonna say Greeny's firing shots at me, saying that my 8 volume and my Dead Fellas volume, bro. I was degenning in the trenches, like first far
blasting goblin.
in advance of you. Well in advance. I'm now retired because of it. The trench activity that happened when our Twitter Spaces show began was built on me burning $30,000 on stupid things like Easy's Alpha, deep sea jellies that looked like just were more phallic than the rumors about me at Art Basel.
Real quick, Iris Energy, a Bitcoin miner, Bishop M pointed out a piss missile. I wonder how the Bitcoin mining stocks play into this AI narrative.
Maybe they launched AI agents. That'd been smart.
Are these the deep sea jellies?
That is them.
Yeah.
Very
I don't remember these.
Not bad art. Just sea animals. Sea animals never worked out well as PFPs. They got to be land-based animals.
Full body too. Full body is tough.
Yeah, got to be land-based animals.
7 days ago, some jackass bought one. Crazy.
Basically, if I'm correct, nothing. No, never mind. Yeah, just no sea animals.
Well, wasn't there like a Gary V seahorse that was doing well or something? Somebody bought?
No, that was Nick's one that he bought.
But that was like a part of a card collection. That doesn't count. It wasn't like it was all seahorses. I was going to say no flying animals have done well, but moonbirds did for a period of time. And
all right, so you got both here. Fly fish. Fly fish did well originally.
Fly fish doesn't count. That's not a PFP. That's a fucking restaurant. It's a sushi restaurant.
He's talking about NFTs. I think we were still on NFTs. You categorized it as PFPs and thought that the issue with deep sea jellies was the fact that it looked like an animal, not the fact that it was literally a penis.
Good insight there. Anyways, Easy, so what are you buying today?
Today I just bought a Virtuals coin that's now worth 4 mil. Got in at 3 mil about 4 minutes ago.
Nice.
The meme coin trenches have been red hot so far. I printed on Zero this morning while my car was driving itself. That was great. And I'm in another AI coin. But the main thing, the only focus I have is how this pre-sale goes for IMM AI, which is that Agent for X protocol. Goes live in 2 hours.
What's this pre-sale about? Is it to like put money into like a fund for it to be an investor?
No, so to basically launch the token. So the way X Combinator works is you have to own 1 million of the X tokens to potentially get a whitelist for the agents that they launch.
I love the Ponzu.
So it's absolutely great Ponzi. You have to own 1 million to get the whitelist. The first agent launching today is this project IMM AI. That's it.
Terrible fucking name, but I like that it's the first. I'll just own the Project X token. Hopefully the first one cooks, and then people are like, buy more Project X.
So my thought is exactly that. As long as this agent does well, the only thing that I care about is this agent doing well. If this does well, everyone follows suit into the X protocol for hopes of the next agent. I think you get 2 or 3 good agents before the Ponzi's played out. But I think inherently that can at least send it to 25, 50 mil, like a stupid evaluation of people aping this ticker. And like I passed this around 5 mil. When I first started seeing who was getting this whitelist for the agent, I was like, oh, this is like a straight up cabal play. Like you have FaZe Banks getting the whitelist for this.
Oh,
that
yeah,
never
man.
participates in anything. Then you obviously have the whole LA vape cabal with Malcolm, Frank, Rasmer, OG, all these guys are on this whitelist. So I'm like, okay, so clearly the AI side of it is interesting to them. And when you have a bunch of those people who inherently will like watch a bag go to 0, it has a low cap, only 88 SOL for what they're raising for the initial agent. So it's going to open up low and you're just going to have people fall
No, it's not going to open low. I can guarantee you it's going to 1,000x out of the gate.
Sure, but like that inherently, those
Ray
people,
and
like,
I
get
have
the
already
presale,
seen
like,
this.
print.
I've
Yeah,
seen this play out before.
So this is exactly like the DAO's fun side of things with like F-Dream, where like you put in 0.25 ETH and you got fucking 10 ETH out of the thing. Like that's a
Yeah,
great
this will
situation to
immediately
be in.
go to $5 million. The whatever the
coin.
AI.
But then
IAM,
if that
IAM.
happens, that sends Project X to 25 mil.
Yeah,
Like I'm talking.
I like it.
big
I bought
camera.
some. I'm riding with you. I'm riding with
The
you.
one thing is just to make note that the LPs like aren't great for this. The best place to buy it is on DAOs.fun. So if you're buying this token, don't buy it on your bot. Buy it on DAOs.fun, or you're gonna
unless you've exported your bot. If you can control your BullX or Photon from a Phantom wallet, like you've exported the keys, you should only be buying this on DAO's Fund because the liquidity is significantly higher there than on chain. They shared tokenomics on what they're gonna do. Sure, whatever. Also, by the way, that stupid virtuals thing I bought, we're up 60%. Let's go.
Boom.
Fastest virtual to ever bond.
Boom.
That's why we bought it. Send it higher.
I got a lot of ETH sitting on base. Seems like I got some opportunities to, do a little bit of trading here.
Yeah, I would just spray at any ticker that someone else has conviction in.
Are chonks
If they have more than a 3-sentence explanation of why they're bullish, buy it.
Yeah,
3
that's what I've been
sentences
doing.
is the minimum.
I'm doing a thread tonight on all the plays I'm in a couple sentence thesis.
There's 7 coins that I've bought over the past week that I have no idea what they're doing in AI, but I have conviction in the person that sent it to me.
Oh, so bullish.
And how did they do?
They're all up. Yeah, if you bought literally any AI coin over the last 7 days on base, it's probably up a good amount.
So what's the site, the primary site? You said DAOs.fun.
We bought this coin 3 days ago. It's up 200%.
No, the primary site for these agents is virtuals.app.
Oh, yeah.
App.virtuals.io. Sorry.
That's the pump fund.
Virtuals.io.
That's the pump fund. Yeah. But you can definitely get wrecked in these trenches as well. So you gotta pick your buys.
Yeah, so I'm barely spending any time on the actual virtual site, to be honest.
Yeah, me either.
Like, I mean, what you can do, like if you're like trenching, you're looking at prototype agents at the top, you're sorting by like latest to see what's coming out, and you're looking at market cap to see like what might bond. And there's a lot of junk here, and there's not good. I mean, the website, I mean, it just hurts my eyes to look at, which is obviously bullish. And there's just so much junk that gets released, and there's no like good dashboard yet that you have like with a pump vision on BullX. So like someone releasing a pump vision for like virtuals would be like an obvious product market fit right now.
Honestly, if you're just gonna dive in, you're probably much better off just longing stuff north of 10 million, unless people are giving you, like someone hit me up and said buy Bob yesterday at a couple million, and now I think it's over 10. But I'm not spending any time on virtuals because I just don't have the edge on picking these things. I'm just sitting in chats where other people are like, you should buy this virtuals coin, and then I buy it.
I see it show up on Twitter, and I just haven't, or X, whatever you want to call it. I keep seeing various tokens, and I'm pretty early with when they pop up on the feed. And then I look at how the price actions performed. I mean, what was the big cook? What's like the biggest one on virtuals right now?
Like the actual AIXPT.
Yeah, XPT.
So I guess maybe Vader. So Vader was the one that I saw at like 3 mil.
3 million.
No. 3 or 5 mil, and it had done like there were 2 step ups, and then it just like sent basically. But
that was all. That was the staking release. Is why it sent so hard.
But sorry, where are you going to actually place the trades for this? Still BullX?
You can.
Yeah. So basically, what Easy was saying is like when Vader was at.
Hold on. He just said you can. I want to get explicit
here.
Use
the old BullX, so BullX.io, not Neo.BullX.io. The old one has base support. I'm not using BullX to trade these. I use a different Telegram bot called Shuriken. Just because, like,
I have Shuriken.
So I use that because it does swaps across chains too. Like, it can pull from my Sol wallet and buy base and ETH shit too. So like, if I'm low on liquidity, it'll buy it and swap for me. So it just handles all of it. And
what I was trying to explain to you is that, to Easy's point, when these things are early on, like when they are just on virtuals or have just graduated from virtuals, most of the liquidity is in virtuals.
Yeah.
Like most of the liquidity is in the Vader to virtuals play. So my point being is that holding some virtuals is going to give you better liquidity options. Even now with Vader at north of 100 million, the top Uniswap pair is the Vader virtuals pair with 4 million of volume. But like what happens is eventually people like close the arbitrage because they know people want to buy in ETH. So what they do is they'll set up LP pools in Vader and wrapped ETH. And then so like now you can buy. I bought Vader with wrapped ETH at like 60 million. But I'm just telling you, when you first come out of the gate, it's usually just Vader virtual pair. And so you just be aware of that.
Why are you using wrapped ETH versus just regular ETH on base?
Because I mean, that's just what a lot of the pairs are in.
You buy
So
it.
they're using
the LP isn't wrapped ETH, but your user experience would be using ETH to buy it on Uniswap. It's just that the pool's in wrapped ETH, it converts when you buy it.
Yeah, I don't need some. I'm smart enough not to need something to convert for me. I'm already pre-converted when I buy these.
So you're not using, but you guys aren't using Uniswap. You're using Shuriken and Bullex.
I'm using Uniswap.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm just on my computer. It's just a swap. And on base, like you're not dealing with like a lot of failed transactions and shit. And if it's a failed transaction, you find out in 5 seconds, not 5 minutes, and it only costs you 3 cents, not $30.
When you're on the go or using like MetaMask Mobile?
I'm still using BullX, but BullX's base support's kind of shitty because it doesn't detect a lot of times the top liquidity pair. And so it'll like buy you into like a low liquidity pair.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You just got to be careful because if this liquidity is only at 287K right now on BullX, and looking at Dex Screener, I'm seeing 800K in liquidity on Uniswap, 4.9 million with the pair with virtual on Uniswap as well. For mobile wallet, I use Rabby, same one I use on desktop. I think it's the best wallet and it's seamless to buy on Uniswap.
How do you spell that again, Rabby?
RABBY.
Rabbi with a Y.
So it sounds like go to Dex Screener, check out the liquidity, and see which pools have the most, and go trade there. Basically, if you're going to be active,
especially if you're trying to size in.
Is there a mobile Dex Screener?
There's an app, Dex Screener app on mobile. Yeah.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Because you want like to be as quick as possible for the entry, would be my assumption most of the time.
But to be honest with you, I just use Shuriken because it'll swap virtuals as well. It just gets me the best rate.
So basically, you skip all of the logistics by basically just using that bot. It'll take whatever you have in your wallet and swap even across chains.
Yeah, the cross chain can take a couple extra minutes, so you make it a worse entry while it's bridging. But it'll do everything, just all within that wallet. You post a CA, post how much you want to buy, and then it'll do that.
Yeah, Nick, I would definitely say a lot of this stuff is not like pump fun. Like the things that you should be buying in the meme in the AI space, with some exceptions, it shouldn't be like if I don't buy in the next 2 minutes, I'm gonna miss out on a 300% gain. It moves a little bit slower on there, like in a good way, and like I told Ray to buy Cookie, and then he was like, I bought Cookie, and I was like, oh shit, I should have bought Cookie. And I checked in and it was like 15-20% higher, like hours later. It wasn't like, oh my God, it went to 40 million in 30 seconds. You know what I mean?
Like Solana.
Like, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's much nicer. Like you feel like you can use your brain. You can form a thesis over an hour. It's incredible.
So I'm curious as well. So it sounds like Shuriken or however you say it, is the best app to use here when it comes to trading this specifically. What happens? What happened to like Hyperliquid? Is that just kind of silent at the moment?
No, they got Vapor on there, which was like the cleanest 6x of the last week. I got a jet, but Easy's going to fill you in.
Yeah, I would say like Hyperliquid's still insanely active. Like you just said, they added Vapor on there, which just went up and to the right only. But Hyperliquid is still existing and doing its thing. It's just the same as any narrative. It gets quiet, then it runs again. They just have significantly less launches on Hype. You have these like their quote bonding curve is not a bonding curve. It's a bid auction process for new tokens that launch on there, and they happen once a day. So when those happen, it's like, yeah, go ahead.
Can I trade on Hyperliquid using the same bot, Shuriken?
No, so Hype is not supported there because it's an Arbitrum L2. So it's like completely separate.
Yeah, you need a bridge to Arbitrum, and then you need to like interact with their decks. It's still something that's on my list to do. I think that seeing the success that Vapor had, if this base stuff just moves there next, it's going to be the next frontier.
Sorry, well, two questions there. I'll start with yours, Ray. If base moves where?
If the hype and like heat around base AI agents moves to Hyperliquid.
Got it. Okay. Why would I want? So I'm surprised that I guess theoretically, base is an L2 as well, but Hyperliquid, you're saying you have to swap to Arbitrum and then swap to Hyperliquid?
No, you trade on Arbitrum, right? They're building their L1. They're building like a DEX focused L1 that's not out yet. So you trade on their essential DApp on Arbitrum.
Okay. I mean, I haven't made the Hyperliquid transition yet. I've been missing out and just accepting of that matter. I've been like watching like it come across my timeline regularly. The base activity is legit. Although, is it Jesse from base?
Yeah,
who just keeps kind of it seems like he's like embroiled in random drama. Like his angle with it feels a little bit like slightly out of touch.
Thing was like he's like, how do we get the Solana audience to base?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like
well, that was
asking.
After he got dunked on by everybody because of the transaction that what's her name?
The KYC one.
Yeah, that bangers just keep shitting on base. I don't fully understand it, but yeah.
It's just inherent drama between the two because Coinbase has had some negativity towards Sol. Like I withdraw through Coinbase. I've sent them a ton of documentation to make sure my account doesn't get limited. And every time because I'm a USDC withdrawer, so like I only send USDC to it so that I can take it to the bank. And every time I send it there, it says anywhere from 7 to 40 minutes for withdrawal time, which like is, and then for base it says 1 minute. Every time I send it, it takes 10 seconds. So like clearly they're trying to like UI wise drive where you're withdrawing funds. It's like very clear. Mertz commented on it. You've had Tolly and Raj both comment on offering help to limit those transaction times because like clearly they're indexing or processing something wrong. And they kind of just turn a blind eye to that, almost as if it's like intentional, which is leading to a lot of the back and forth between that. And then with Jesse now being like, how do we capture market share from Sol? It's like, honestly, I like both. I for base, I can buy shit. The chicken AI bullshit trade I made, I sat on for 4 days, which is the longest trade I've ever made comparable to Solana. Like, that was decades in my time. So it's just much slower. Like, when I buy something on base, I'm happy to just let it cook for a while and forget about it.
Real quick, you're looking at, the Solana audience's punk kid mentality, Nick, when you see them, make comments like saying like Brian Armstrong is a bitch. They think that's like a cool comment. It's like, all right, hey, it's one angle, but then real quick. So Bishop M said 9 dashboards, 17 platforms, 822 wallets, 34 Telegram bots, 219 Discords. Yeah, normies are totally going to figure this out. No, they're not. And they don't have to. It doesn't matter. Like normal people don't need to gamble on random crypto tokens. What would make if I would go walk outside, some random girls, I can be like, you know what? I think I really need to learn how to gamble on random crypto tokens that are going to eventually go to zero. Like I think I need to do that.
Well, the exception to that is there's examples of people anywhere that there's examples of people making a lot of money in a short period of time.
Yeah.
Is a strong incentive for literally anybody. I was chatting with someone here who, she makes decent salary, but she works hard. Like she has to like
crazy idea.
Go to work.
Wait. She clicks more than 3 buttons. She clicks more than 3 buttons a day to print $1,000.
What are you talking?
There's people out there that do this.
So yeah, I know what you mean, Nick. So real quick, I think when people talk about normies, what they're actually talking about is turbo normies is what I would say. Because New Year's Eve, I'm at like my buddy's girlfriend's restaurant and I'm with this guy that, he's a cool kid, East Boston. And he's like saying to me, he's like, dude, the next 6 months, dude, crazy opportunity in crypto. Like, I'm telling you, this is a crazy opportunity in crypto right now. You got to give me the 10x plays. And he's like, do you know this dude? And he names some YouTube fitness influencer drop shipper type kid. He's like, dude, this kid's group's got all the plays, kid. I'm telling you. And I was just like, yeah, I actually don't know who that is. And he's like, that's crazy that you don't know who this dude is. I'm telling you, he's got the plays. And I'm just like, yeah. So I was trying to be so like polite about it and just explain. I was like, so he's attracting people that are not crypto native and bringing in plays where he's probably an insider on the play and dumping it on your head. You know what I mean? But like that guy's like a real estate dude. He's like, yeah, I flip houses, dude. He's like that kind of guy who's done crypto at this point in the cycle. Probably this is his third time. This is like the 2017 crowd, the 2021 crowd, and then now the 2025 crowd. They're getting in now. Those are not turbo normies. Those are normies. Turbo normies are never going to gamble on crypto coins. That's like a random ass thing to do. Like the girl walking her dog outside in Brooklyn is not going to be gambling on crypto coins. It's so fucking random. But they'll buy Bitcoin eventually. They'll have indirect exposure to Bitcoin in their. A lot of them already do if they have QQQ because of MicroStrategy and Tesla for that. I mean, everyone's already got exposure to Bitcoin because of Tesla in the S&P 500. But yeah, anyway, I don't think that thinking about turbo normies buying a random ass coin on a layer 2.5 blockchain is really a realistic way to think about it.
Yeah, the realistic way to think about it is how can I make a quick 50K and just pocket that bad boy, like that's the and so that's what we're playing the game of. It's not like normies buy my bags. It's more so where are the early adopters going?
Yeah.
And sort of just YOLOing some money because it does accumulate as you get 10,000 people each putting $1,000 in. You got $10 million into something, or 1,000 people putting 10K in, whatever. You have a decent amount of money floating around in there. A lot of people also don't, even people in this space that I've had conversations with, don't understand the logistics of market cap versus liquidity, where they're like, oh, this. What's that?
I was going to say that's like an interesting relationship. I wanted to talk about Pengu's liquidity and see what Easy thought about it because it seems to be, I guess, one of the top coins from a liquidity standpoint. But Nick, you can finish what you're talking about. Then we can kind of talk about that and then wrap.
There's not much to say. I think the main thing is like a lot of people see that as well as sometimes you see the screenshots of the value of your wallet, like on Twitter, when it's like that's just quoting you based on the market cap.
Correct.
But if you were going to
price, it's even different because like it doesn't quote you on market cap because fully diluted versus circulating. The market cap's all the bullshit. It's the price. It's literally quoting you. So it'll say you have $100 million. There's $4 in liquidity. There's been some funny TikToks where guys have been like, I'm up $40 million and I can't sell this coin. What the hell?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's 17 cents in the liquidity pool.
I was at a New Year's Eve.
I
was at a New Year's Eve party with some friends the other night, and I like Fartcoin came up, and they're like, "Oh, like what's the price?" I'm like, "Oh, it's at like a $1.5 billion market cap." And they're like, "No, we want to know the price. Like, is it $1? No. Is it $5? Is it 1 cent?" I was like, "I don't even know the price." I was like, "To be honest, I don't even know the price because it doesn't matter." They're like, "What do you mean it doesn't matter? That's all that matters." I was like, "Oh my god, this is this is crazy."
I mean, they're right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right.
They're right. But what is the price? Like 1 to the negative.
There's
10
a billion tokens.
It's 19 cents. It was like 19 cents at the time or something like that. But I didn't know it. Like I had no idea what the price was.
Nor would any of us, because it doesn't. Like you said, it doesn't matter.
To us, we don't give a shit about it.
We don't. But the reality is when it makes the leap from us making money to like making crazy money, basically, like you retired and like you bought a mansion on Fartcoin, then the price becomes relevant. Basically, that's like Fartcoin to $1 is the is sort of the thesis at that point.
Well, that's why Sam. Sailor's going to do another 10-to-1 split on MicroStrategy this cycle. That's your look. People were saying like I was trying to jam MicroStrategy into this conversation. I said nothing about it until just now, and I'm not saying anything more. Just wanted to throw that out there. He's going to do another 10-to-1 split on that bad boy. It's going to be good. Only $75 billion market cap right now.
There's another one. There's another one. He keeps jamming it in.
Nope,
keeps jamming it in.
Pengu liquidity, and then we can wrap. So why people are pointing out that people are LPing it? I mean, what does this mean? Like, what are we talking about here with this liquidity? How does it stack up to other shit? Is this the most interesting crypto token for risk-adjusted returns right now? Risk-adjusted returns.
So, like, it's tough to say because of where the market cap's at. You're at a 3.39 billion market cap with 16 million in liquidity. For comparison, Pengu actually has worse liquidity than Fartcoin.
That's nuts.
Yes. So the ratio that I'm always looking at is liquidity divided by market cap. Somewhere around 10, it feels to me like normal. Sub 10.
Fartcoin, by the way, is at 13 mil to a 1.4 bill. So it's there. Like, that's basically where Nick is.
No, that would be 100th. Yeah, so that'd be 1%. If you're operating, I've seen ones which are 5x the liquidity, which is very interesting because there's just less downside risk at that point in time. And I think that's the main thing is that like that ratio. I'd love to know more though, because I haven't done a spreadsheet analyzing the ratios.
There's a whole mess of stuff though that with that comes with it. Because you're talking if liquidity is 5x market cap, you now have to make sure that liquidity is locked. Because that could just be someone trying to pump their bag. By you looking at something that has 300,000 in liquidity and the market cap's at 70K, they can pull that liquidity. And now it's worthless. But they just print it on you, thinking that it was a good move. For these bigger market caps, stuff that has 10, 20 mil liquidity and it's in a billion is, in my opinion, fine. Because now someone can take out $1 million and the price will be moving or adjusted, but you'll have a lot of buyers that step in and people who are now adding to liquidity because in that moment, you're going to see fees print. So with something that's this deep, unless you're going in with size on the liquidity side, you're not getting a lot of fees. But because the liquidity is 23 mil for a 2 and change bill FDV, someone can pull $1 million out and the token won't crumble.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem a bit low on the liquidity side. In terms of parking size, Zeneca was on with Green this morning, and he said this is his highest conviction, risk-adjusted position where you can put true size into a meme. Pengu, yeah.
I agree.
Dude, it's going to 10 bill. We can keep saying it. It's going to 10 billion.
I agree.
I just want to say I'm really struggling here.
Let's see what we got going on over here.
Dude's just rich.
Oh, you're stuck. You're stuck there, huh? That's
Nick,
tough.
ladies and gentlemen listening, Nick loves hospitality services. He loves a nice hotel. Loves it.
I'm not in a hotel.
Oh, an Airbnb?
Little condo action there.
I'm in an apartment.
Are you hanging out with some bitch?
Oh, I wouldn't. Dude, that's just mean, dude.
Some bitch?
Yo, man.
That's my friend.
Oh, okay.
Easy. Do you think Luca introduces staking of some sort?
Call me even crazier. He mentioned the mobile game. What if the mobile game currency is Pengu?
Interesting.
Staking. Now you have a way to burn the shit out of it and need people to buy it. I don't know. And that is not inside information. I've heard nothing about that. I did not even know they were launching a mobile game. So I guess my sources are fucking me now because Ray aired me out. But yeah, I don't know. That's how I think that there's significantly more upside. All the smart traders I follow all are saying this is going. This is easily going to 10 bill. So I'm like, yeah, fine. Fuck it.
Yo, Nick, you look a little tired, dude. Are you just exhausted from plowing?
Okay, what are you talking about, dude? What are you even talking
The show in
about?
the other room. Nick's like, yeah, watch this podcast. I'm on.
New Year's resolution. I see you getting your cardio in, man.
This is just inappropriate.
All right, everyone. That's going to do it for today's episode. Thanks for joining.
Look at Tristan.
On all major podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Apple. Watch us back on YouTube. Thanks, everyone, for joining today. Have a great Thursday.
Tristan implying that Nick's